Hi, this is Mr. Shari, and today I'm going to talk with you about an important topic, which is transitions. One of the most important topics in order to figure out the concept of transitions. Simply, transition is the word we put it to connect or to link two sentences together. So let's have a look here on some important tricks when it comes to the transition concept. The most important trick for the people who are trying to solve the questions in the advanced tests like the ECT exams or the SAT exams and the ACT exams as well. If you see the option delete the underline, this will be the best option for you. So again, once we figure out that this is a transition question and we have an answer, this answer is delete the underline. So this is the best option for you. For the second point, which is eliminating the choices that they have the same meaning. So let us say that the first word is and the second word is moreover. So I should understand that the two words are equal, which means that you are trying to add information to the sentence. So and moreover, or even besides, they have the same meaning. So if we got like two choices, they have the same meaning, we should eliminate these two choices. And the last or the third point, which is first, next, secondly, these words and even the word then shows the sequence. So at the moment that we discovered the passage or the paragraph, it has a chronological order. So if we have first, second, secondly, then these are words indicate that we have a sequence and we need to maintain or work on this chronological order. Moving on for point number 4, which is if we have the word specific, if we have the word for example, if we have the word for instance, if we have the word including, they are all equal. And at this moment, we are trying to state an example for it. So if we have the word specific or specifically, for example, or for instance, or including, they are all equal, means that we are trying to specify an example for the sentence. Moving on for the next one, which is if we have contrast, if we are comparing between two sentences, we discovered or we figure out that the first sentence in the relation between the first sentence and the second sentence, that we have a contrast. We have a compare between the first one and the second one. So at this point, we are moving to the word however and the group similar to however. So these are the 5 tricks which are very important if we have to lead the underline, eliminate the same choices and the chronological order, or stating example, or we discovered that we have like 2 different sentences and they are opposite to each other. So now we'll be able to discuss with the first, or talk about the first topic, which is, or the first group, which is we're trying to add information. So the first sentence in relation to the second sentence, that we are trying to add a piece of information. At the moment that we are trying to add an information, we can use and or the similar words. What are the similar words? What are the groups? What are the group? It has the same words here. We have the word and equal to, the word indeed, equal to further or furthermore, equal to besides, equal to moreover, equal to what is more, or we can say in addition or additionally, they are the same. And we can say next also as well in board terms and not to mention. So when I'll be able to use these words, if I discovered that the second sentence, I'm trying to add information to the first sentence. So I can use and or either of these words. And don't forget the second tip that we talked about it. If we have, for instance, further and beside in one of the questions, so we can cross further with besides because simply they have the same meaning. Let's have a look here closely to an example. It says, reading is a good way to learn new vocabulary words. So this is the first sentence. It states clearly that reading is very important. Why? To learn new vocabulary. Here we have a word. It can improve your ability to spell words correctly. So we discovered that the second sentence is trying to add information for the first sentence. That's why we use the word furthermore. I can use moreover, I can use and, I can use beside, any of these words. So at the moment that I discovered the second sentence is adding information to the first sentence. So this is the addition. So I should deal with the word and or the words equal to and. So this is mainly for the first group, which is the addition, or I discovered that I'm trying to add information to the first sentence. How about the second group here? The second group that we have is showing contrast. The second sentence is opposite to the first sentence. The second sentence is the contrast for the first sentence. So at this moment, I should use but or the word similar to but. Like we say, however, like we say, unfortunately, like we say, yet, on the other hand, notwithstanding, conversely, nevertheless, despite, alternatively, otherwise, nonetheless, by, or in contrast, or even so. So all of these words are showing the contrast. The second sentence in the relation between the second sentence and the first sentence, they are in the opposite or they are contrast to each other. So let's have a look here on this example. It says house prices have gone up this year. So this is the first sentence. It states that the house prices have gone up this year. Car prices seems to be affordable. So what is the relation between the first and the second sentence? We discovered that the second sentence is in opposite, is in contrast with the first sentence. So at this moment, we can use the word in contrast in the middle. So far, we have two groups. The first group, which is the addition, and the second group, which is the opposite or the contrast one. And moving to the third group, which is simply, I'm talking about the effect or I'm talking about the result here. So the second sentence in relation to the first sentence that we have an effect or a result. So we can use the word so or the word similar to so, like we say as a result, thereafter, accordingly, consequently, hence, or therefore, are in consequence, or thus, and lastly will be for these reasons. So when I'll be able to use these words that I discovered the second sentence in relation to the first sentence that we have an effect or a result here. Let us have a look here on this example. It says, he has a race tomorrow. So this is the first sentence. He can't stay out late tonight. What is the relation between the second sentence and the first sentence that we have here? A result. You're going to ask yourself why. He can't stay out at late night because simply he has a race tomorrow. So the third group, an easy group that we discovered that the two sentences, they are a result or effect to each other. The next group, which is one of the easiest group, which is I'm giving you example. I'm trying to give you an example for something. So this one or this group will be equal to the word for example. So I'm stating an example. I'm trying to give you an example. So I discovered that the second sentence related to the first sentence, that the second sentence is an example for the first sentence. The most common word, which is for example or for instance, they are very common. We need to know them, for example, equal to, for instance, and then we have particularly or in particular, they are the same, or we have especially. The example here will make it easier for you. The first one, it says the children should eat less junk food. This is the first sentence. I understand that the children shouldn't eat or should eat less junk food. They should avoid eating burgers and chips. Now, if you have a look on the second sentence, you're going to find we have here examples for the junk food, which is the burger and chips. These are examples for the junk food, so we can use the word for example. Or we can use the word for instance, or especially, or particularly, or in particular. So we discovered that the second sentence in relation to the first sentence, I'm stating some examples. So I can use the transition words related to stating examples. The next group here, which is similarity. What is similarity? That I discovered this, the first sentence is stating something similar to the first sentence. Like I can use similarly, or I can use in the same way, or I can use likewise. So when I'll be able to use the similar words or the similarity words, that I discovered the second sentence is similar to the first sentence. Let us see an example here. It says you are not allowed to use your phone here. This is the first sentence stating using the cell phone or using the phone is forbidden here. You have to switch it off when you're in the library. So the second sentence is similar to the first sentence. That's why we're going to think about the similarity here, because we have the two situations or the two sentences, they are similar. So since they are similar, I'm going to think about the similar words or the similarity, which is similarly or in the same way or likewise. Similarly and likewise are the most common words when it comes to the EST and the SAT exams here, and as well as the ACT exams. Lastly will be the last group, which is that I'm trying to give you conclusion. And please focus on this one, because sometimes we think about the relation between the second sentence and the first sentence. It is a conclusion, yes. And sometimes we see it in the ECT exams, is stating or asking you which sentence can be added as a conclusion here. So the words that indicate that we have conclusion, we have to conclude, in short, eventually, ultimately, at least, to this end, and of course, lastly and finally. So when I'll be able to use these words, that I discovered the second sentence, this one, is a conclusion for the first one. Something happened here in the first sentence, and we have uh, a conclusion the second sentence. So as it says, I've been taking a lot of courses. Finally, I got my certificate. So I can say here, eventually I got my certificate, because I discovered that this sentence is a conclusion for the first sentence here. So the last group, which is conclusion, that I discovered that the second sentence is a conclusion for the first sentence here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Keep safe. We'll see you again. Thank you.